How's it going, everybody? Subsequent to being on the social media app known as TikTok today, I decided to come on here because of a conversation that was being held by a content creator on that specific app resonated with me to the extent that I felt the need to come here to YouTube to ask members of the public, why is it that so many individuals who reside here within the United States of America have no knowledge or very little knowledge of the inalienable rights that we have by virtue of being not only a citizen of this country, but also a human being. The conversation that was being held on TikTok, in which I am making reference to, was pertaining to the incident between Carmelo Anthony and one of his, I would assume, classmates that led to a deadly altercation. People on the panel of the hosts that was actually conducting the live stream on TikTok were under the impression that we as civilians, based upon the statutory provisions created by some legislative body within a specific state or the entire United States of America, holds precedence over the civil rights that we have that are protected by the supreme law of the land. Now, for those of us who are familiar with American history, how you doing, ML, Casual Fan 69, and Cage is Frag? Y'all wanted to know, guys, what your take on why so many individuals here in America are so ignorant of the laws that are designed to protect our civil, constitutional, and human rights. What's y'all take on that? How you doing, Gregory? Gangbanger, what's up? I see you, Danny. But what's y'all take on that, though, y'all? Because I realize being on social media and litigating in a court of law that so many civilians are so incompetent when it comes to having knowledge of their civil, constitutional, and human rights and how those particular freedoms were designed to be protected by the supreme law of the land. I appreciate that, MM Casual Fan 69. And Chuck Norris 112. I have no idea what you are referring to. I have no idea who Lamar Jackson is. But I would like you all to give me a take on your perspective when it comes to the invocation of civil, constitutional, and human rights in this country. And do you all, like so many other people, actually believe that those whom we have elected or appointed to positions of public trust have authority under the Constitution to encroach upon your freedoms through the illicit statutory provisions, rules, regulations, policies, and even judicial decisions that they have created to keep us bound, to keep us oppressed? So it's just something to really address. It's something that I feel people need to think about. You said a crush? Are you referring to an actress or any female in general? Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, casual fan. As far as actresses go, yeah. Well, the first actress, Caucasian actress, I should say, because when I was young, we were led to believe that we needed to date in our own ethnic background. But irrespective of that, the first Caucasian actress that I actually had a crush on was Cynthia Rothrock. And I liked her because she was heavy into the martial arts. And she's very good at what it is she does. I also like Bridget Fonda. Oh, definitely Shannon Doherty and Eliza Dushku. She played Faith the Vampire Slayer on Buffy. Oh, shoot. A whole lot of other actresses. I mean, I like Beyonce when she first came out. Heck yeah. Yeah, Cynthia Rothrock like that. I like Michelle Yeoh. Whole lot of actresses. I mean, Alyssa Milano. You know, the same individuals that I guess many people were into during those particular times. But all of those particular actresses, I mean, technically, they couldn't compare to the female that I was into at that time. Her name was Paulita. And then I had my homegirl, Somali. Yeah. But now, I mean, I'm interested in a few women, but nothing has become too serious. You know, they're still my friends though. But other than that, still looking. You know, I was on Bigo Live earlier, right? And one of the things that I speak about primarily is politics and law, because I feel that it is required nowadays to ensure that we all are educated to the point to where we can actually do something about those in civil service who subject us to acts of abuse, neglect, and tyranny when performing their duties in a way that we have not condoned. But there was a female on there that called me weird. Her name, according to the profile, was Paris. But she called me weird, so I happened to get on her though. Yeah, I definitely had to get up on her, you know, to set the record straight with this person, because one of the things that I'm growing to realize is that a lot of these females on these apps, they're not on the apps to really pursue relationships. They're not looking to find the right guy or a good guy. They're in it primarily to find the guy who they feel that they can manipulate into sending them gifts that we men purchase with our hard-earned money. That's what I'm beginning to see. That is a trend, but it's a trend that's easy to see. So it's not like I couldn't see it and maneuver around it, which is what I did. But you know, sometimes when you're nice to people, specifically women, since we're on the subject, some women tend to take that kindness for a weakness, like this female Paris had did to me. And most of the time, these women, they tell you to send them gifts that cost money, as I indicated earlier, so they can send you some explicit videos or photographs of them performing sexual acts upon themselves or some other person. But the fact of the matter is, and I tell you all what I told them, I don't give a crap about that nonsense. Fuck that. That's nonsense. It doesn't bring any value to my life. It just doesn't do anything except make me a little bit poor because I'm giving money to a freaking person that I don't even know. And that just is not going to happen. But you know, she basically said I was weird, and I was basically talking to her about that, addressing that issue with this person. And one of the people in the comments that actually messaged me about this person, Paris, had told me that this person is an actual man. So, and that tend to make some semblance of sense because every time this person is live streaming, this individual never opens up the camera to where people can actually see who it is that they're talking to. Red flag. But I joined or downloaded these particular social media apps because, like I said earlier, my primary focus is to convey the knowledge that I have accrued over the years to all who are ready and willing to listen and to apply this knowledge based upon the law that I give in conjunction with the knowledge that I pass on to other people in order to make your lives and the lives of others a heck of a lot better than what it currently is. But that's what my primary focus is. I've been studying law for a while, but I noticed that even when I, amongst other people, make a heartfelt attempt or endeavor to educate somebody on a specific law, and in this particular case, I like talking about the right that we have to keep and bear arms under the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights. A lot of people have been conditioned through tradition for so long that when I actually provide legal authority in support of my statements related to all of us being able to have firearms, regardless if we have a felony or misdemeanor conviction or not, many people that I've encountered tends to believe that I'm just feeding people bogus information. Irrespective of me actually providing the law in support of what I said. It's like these people have been conditioned through tradition for so long. When the law is right before them and it's an absolute clarity, they still ignore the law for what it is and base their decisions on what someone else has led them to believe through whatever traditions that people have established through their personal opinions. And that's a problem. And that is why we see others, to include ourselves, going through the bull crap that we're going through in American society and elsewhere today. And I talk about the right of revolution, the right to take up arms, formulate militias, and eliminate those in public office here in America in these governmental institutions to ensure the safety and security of every civilian who resides in every state that makes up this nation. That is what the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights is for. That is what it entails. But the moment I start talking like that, people are so freaking afraid to stand on the rights that they have that are protected by the supreme law of the land because they fear those in civil service. They fear people like Donald Trump because they are afraid of what Donald Trump can do to them, but they fail to realize what we can actually do to people like Donald Trump and other civil servants that's in public office. We don't have a right of revolution for no reason. And I know many people don't like talking about that, but the fact of the matter is we have to talk about it. It has to be addressed. People need to be informed. Because sooner or later, people are going to have their backs into a corner. And it's either they're going to perish or they're going to survive. And I'm willing to bet that many people, most people, would choose to come out fighting to ensure self-preservation than they would to contribute to their own untimely demise. And many of you may be saying, oh, well, they got laws that restricts our right of revolution. Yeah, that is true. They have made statutory provisions that, in their view, outlaws our freedom to overthrow those in governmental positions. But my point is, any statutory provision created in contravention of any document associated with the supreme law of the land, such as the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution for the United States of America, to include the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, is unconstitutional, y'all. And the definition of unconstitutional simply means unlawful. So if those in civil service have established laws that encroaches upon our civil right to keep and bear arms or the right of revolution, they are the ones who are in breach of the law, not those of us who choose to exercise our rights protected by the supreme law of the land. We cannot be in conformity with the law on the one hand, and on the other hand, we're considered criminals for simply abiding by the law. That makes no sense, right? And then on one hand, when you're looking at it from the other perspective, you have those in civil service who will create laws that encroaches upon our freedoms protected by the supreme law of the land. And yet they're considering themselves to be lawmakers, law enforcers, the people that are doing things in conformity with the law. But how can a man or woman encroach upon another person's civil, constitutional, and human rights protected by the supreme law of the land be considered law-abiding citizens? They're the ones in breach of the law. So they are, in essence, the criminals, the felons that they speak so much about. It is them, y'all. But they have manipulated people so much through whatever tradition that they have established to where people really believe that the invocation of rights protected by law are actual crimes, and the violation of the law designed to protect people's freedoms are actual legal actions. People have twisted minds based upon being conditioned through tradition. That is a problem, people, that many of you have to address within yourselves, because I'm telling you, like I told you all, if you go back and look at one of my first live videos here on YouTube, when I was talking about the election of Donald Trump, I warned people that things like this was going to happen. Many of you probably saw that video and ignored it. But look at what's going on now. So if I was right back then, isn't it fair to say that what I have to say to you all should be taken heed to now? People, you have to wise up. You have to stop allowing those in civil service to put fear into your hearts and minds. Because the fact of the matter is, they could not be or exist without us, but we can be and exist without them. They need us to ensure that they are in or put in those specific positions of public trust. We don't need them for nothing. We don't need Donald Trump to go to work and make money. We don't need him, but he needs us. And that is a point that I've been making to many of you, whether here on YouTube, TikTok, My podcast, for those of you who don't know, I do have a podcast. I haven't published anything in a while, but what I have published is pertaining to information that I feel each and every last American, to include residents of other countries, should be aware of. But I'm not telling you all this for no reason. I'm telling you what it is I feel you need to hear in order to put yourselves in a better position to where you can protect yourself, your family, and friends from those who have become domesticated enemies here within the United States of America.